I am the Esperanza 243. You are here to listen and or watch me read a book aloud. A book that I have written. A book I call Musketeer Power. This is part
7. Okay, I am super excited about this. I am actually going to go ahead and just talk about the book, mainly because I talk a little bit too much, especially at the beginning. So, there is one thing I do want to mention though. I am going back to my gaming channel. My 2-week break from the gaming channel has officially ended. Not at the time I'm recording, but at the time this video will be up for you guys, which I am super psyched about. I'm happy to finally doing a recording for you guys of the book. I'm super excited. I love Musketeer Power. But again, about the gaming channel, I am super excited. I still have yet to test the video capture device that I have, but I think that's just because there's so many games that I already have my computer to upload to play and upload for you guys, at least on my gaming channel. And I really hope for those of you who are watching this channel, perhaps I can get you to go over to my gaming channel, check it out. I try not to do self-plugs, mainly because I don't want to be one of those people who are self-absorbed and all they care about is getting their videos and their channel noticed. I mean, of course I want both my channels to be noticed, but I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. That's just idiotic. In fact, one of my favorite YouTubers is becoming just that, which is really disappointing. I'm not going to mention his name, but at least you know it's a he. Definitely check out my gaming channel. It's Rabbit's Fun World. Rabbit '*S. That way, yeah. Fun World. You'll be able to find it, probably not in the description below, but, if you click the About section on this particular page, it'll definitely lead you to my other gaming channel, which would be awesome for you to check out, subscribe, even like, or just watch it. I earn no money on the gaming channel. I'm making that extremely, extremely important to you guys. Because, one, games should be fun. You shouldn't... I mean, I know there are people on YouTube that earn money off the games, but I think that's because they get permission from every single game that they play. I don't know if they do that, but they actually earn money off those games. As much as I don't really want to do that. Because I'm trying to earn money off this channel, not the gaming. I want to earn money on the books that I've written, that I've been reading to you all. It's insane. I love my books, and I want you guys to know how awesome they are. Even though I'm pretty sure they still need an editor before I actually publish them. Yes, I know YouTube is a way to publish, but seriously, I want my books published in the proper hardbook or paperback way. I mean, I could do the ebook, but that sounds way too easy. I might end up doing it though, I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the book, shall we? I've been talking too much already. Yikes. Okay, so what happened in the previous video was on chapter 6. The ending of chapter 6 is about the 4 friends and Jimmy. The four friends and Jimmy are... Oh, that's right. They were camping out... Okay, so they were camping out in the woods on their way to Ando. Or Ondo. I need to figure out how to pronounce these cities. I still need to find that map, which is really frustrating me that I can't find it anywhere. It can't be that simple. No. After they camped, they walked the rest of the 8 miles to Ando, surprisingly, and made it in time to buy tickets for a bus. And we actually get to they actually get to talk to the villains, not knowing it was them until after they left. until after the two villains left. And we learned their full names. Their full names were Alexander and Wallace, interestingly enough. But the two prefer the nicknames Lexi and Willie. I really like those names. But Macy was hesitant in leaving her behind, basically because they really wanted to get on that bus to Ando. Or not Ando, to I think it was Morse? Yeah, they're heading to Morse. Their next location is Morse, but they're really heading to Verol, which is the capital of the country, where the headquarters of the Musketeers. I'm an idiot. This book is called Musketeer Power. So they're heading to Morse. They actually tell that to the villains, which is disappointing. So Sophia decides to stay behind, get her snack, and Macy feels uncomfortable leaving her behind. So she decides to walk back, and in doing so... Oh, that's actually where we end the chapter. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and start there, actually. Let me just fix my hair a bit, and see you in a split second. So excited. Keep those whips close, Trisha said. I always do, Sophia declared. She headed to the snacks area. Macy kept her eyes on her. Dang it, I can't, Macy said nervously. I have a bad feeling, ladies. And Jimmy. Something doesn't feel right. I'm going after her. She walked after Sophia. Leave our luggage in my carts. We'll get the next bus. Amari stared after her. She and Jimmy were startled by her action. Obviously. Trisha scoffed and rolled her eyes, crossing her arms. Chapter 7. Go after her, Trish, Jimmy whispered to her. You know this isn't right. No! It's their choice. I do not need to go after them. But Trisha, Amari spoke, she and Sophia are our friends. We can't leave them behind. Trisha scoffed once more as her arms fell. I hate it when you're right, she mumbled. They moved their luggage to the cart and dragged it behind them. The three headed to the snacks area. When they started talking after Macy left, Sophia had deposited 2 quarters in a vending machine. She pressed 3 buttons and out came a protein bar. The designer moaned while chewing on it after slipping off the wrapper. So good, she muttered between bites. Sophia didn't realize that everyone but 2 people had left. Lexi and Willie walked to her from behind. Willie signaled him, causing his partner to pull out a tan cotton bag. The bag suddenly went over Sophia's head. Willie grabbed her arms. She gasped and tried to struggle out of their grips. Macy came in just as they pulled Sophia away. She recognized the lavender outfit immediately. Thankfully, the warrior had her sheathed sword with her. Stop! Let Sophia go! Macy cried. Facing her, Willie and Lexi gasped. They glanced at each other. Go! I got the lavender girl! Lexi whispered, grabbing both of Sophia's arms. While Willie hurried to Macy, she pulled her sword out. Let's see how fast you are, she said with a sly grin. He growled and charged at her. Macy stepped forward, magically speeding through the room. Willie gasped as he observed the snacks area. While still zooming around, she pulled Lexi's hands off, slipped the bag, and grabbed Sophia. They sped out of there, but collided into their friends in the process. Her magical speed stopped as she and Sophia tumbled to the floor. They looked at Trisha, Amari, and Jimmy. Impeccable timing, Sophia muttered. While the men came after them, she and Macy stood. You got that right, Macy said. She glanced back and saw Lexi and Willie rushing toward them. Grab the luggage, and then grab me! They stared at her, except Sophia. She lunged for the cart and gripped Macy's belted sheath. They're after us. You were right, Trish. Sophia rushed. Everyone then grabbed what they could of Macy. Amari had a grip on the luggage. Stepping forward, she used her super speed yet again. They zigged and zagged around people throughout the bus station, going to their bus. Macy stopped when they reached it. "Wait!" Jimmy cried as he went to the closing doors. The driver saw him and opened the doors more. You're going to Morse, right?" The driver nodded, while he and the three adventurers hurried to get on. The warrior used her super speed once more to get the suitcases in the side holders of their bus. She pulled hard on her cart's handle. It turned back into a keychain. Macy glanced behind herself. The two men still ran after her. She gulped and sheathed her sword. Macy rushed onto the bus. "Go! Go! They don't have tickets!" She rushed to the driver. He glanced out the window doors. He saw them running to his bus. Closing the doors, he started the engine as Macy looked for her friends. Sighing of relief, she sat down next to Amari. "Good grief," Trisha whispered. "I told you I had a bad feeling," Macy said as the bus drove off. She rolled her eyes, as did Trisha. "Stop it, you two," Amari said. "Thanks, Macy. You saved my life," Sophia whispered hoarsely. "We need to stick together from now on," Amari noted. The others agreed. They stayed quiet for some time. They didn't know what to talk about, considering Sophia was almost kidnapped. Towards the middle of the ride, some of the other passengers sang a favorite song. Macy and Amari recognized the song. The two smiled at each other before joining in. "And we're flying high, going up to the sky. Do you need a push? 'Cause it's quite the rush." The song went on while the rest of the bus passengers bobbed their heads or tapped their feet. The same group continued singing different songs, with the three adventurers and Jimmy joining in for harmony or melody. They did a pretty good job, too. Some of the passengers would applaud to the two groups. Trisha couldn't hold a note, let alone a tune. Though she played her violin, she stayed quiet. Trisha thought the songs were great, but in some cases, music helped quite a bit. Because of that, time passed quickly. Everyone arrived in the Morse province with no problems, surprisingly. The adventurers thought it too easy. The men had to be plotting something to get them. Lexi and Willie had to be. Fortunately, the men weren't. They knew they had to focus on harming the king and queen. The men would need to use magic to distract them instead of doing it themselves. A shame in Willie's opinion. He wanted to distract the adventurers in person. Well, while the men took an airplane to Verol, the five friends arrived in Morse on time. They felt happy to be there. It still bugged Amari that they didn't have a plan. "When are we actually going to talk about this?" she asked as they bought their next tickets to Verol. "I mean, come on. I know I'm more of an upbeat woman, but seriously, those guys could kill us if they wanted to." Sophia winced, still remembering her partial kidnap. "Will you relax? We only have one more province to go before getting to the capital," Macy said. "Still, she's right," Trisha agreed. "We have to tell someone," Sophia brought up. "We don't have any proof," Jimmy and Trisha chorused as they walked off. Trisha scoffed and rolled her eyes. "We're getting nowhere." That they agreed on. The adventurers sat down on two benches facing each other. "This stinks," Sophia whispered. "Actually, it smells kind of good," Amari said. Macy and Jimmy laughed as her brows narrowed. "Is that cherry blossom?" "I believe that's me," Trisha spoke, blushing. Jimmy snuggled her. "I was wondering why my nostrils were flaring," he whispered in her ear. She chuckled. You know I love that scent. She squealed when he nibbled her ear. Later, Jimmy. Not in front of them. Trisha squirmed in his arms around her. He giggled and let go. Thanks, sweetie. She kissed his cheek in appreciation. Girls, what if Lexi and Willie took a plane? Macy asked with wide eyes. No one answered. That actually scared them, making them quiet. It stayed quiet between the five of them. They ended up listening to the noise in the bus station. It got their eyes to widen. Can you believe it? Maybelle cried in excitement. Who the heck is Maybelle? Yeah, it's so exciting. King Nasir and Queen Kiara are traveling to Galeno, Kelsey squealed. Mabel giggled at her brother's reaction. What? Trisha cried in panic. She turned to the brother and sister. What are you talking about? Mabel and Kelsey glanced at her. Their brows narrowed. The king and queen heard news of something. They're heading to Galeno right now. What do you mean, something? Macy inquired with worry. What's eating you? Kelsey asked. We're serious, you two, Jimmy said as he stepped toward them. Why are they coming so close to Cepheus? The brother and sister gave him weird looks. I think it was something about a girl disappearing and some Scottish chick appearing, Kelsey replied. Kind of like those movies where bodies switch places? His sister snorted. More like those timeline movies. You know where one goes to the future, but something from the future has to take its place. Ah! Mabel crossed her arms and stared at her brother. They bickered about movie references as the adventurers faced each other. Okay, this isn't good, Sophia said. She and Amari joined them to listen better. If this is spreading in Cepheus, it must be spreading in the capital, too. Lexi and Willie are going to be following right behind them, Amari added. Skip the bus. We need a taxi. No way will the bus get there in time. What's going on? Maybelle and Kelsey chorused. They had overheard their conversation. And who's Lexi and Willie? You're twins, aren't you? Macy surmised. They nodded. Do you know where in Galeno? Amari wondered. Ah! Maybelle nodded with a shrug. I think it was City Hall. Let's go! Jimmy called after he grabbed their luggage. We need to leave now! No, Jimmy, Trisha said sternly when she turned to him. He stared at her in shock. You're staying. And that is where I'm gonna stop. Dun dun dun. Cliffhangers. Don't you just love it? Never mind. People who watch TV shows should know about cliffhangers. I should know. That's why I'm doing this cliffhanger here. Ha! Anywho, please click that like button. If not, subscribe. If not, coolies. I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or nights, wherever you are in the world. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you, lovelies, little hopefuls. I am the Esperanza 243, signing out. Beating through the Zoom to the close as he. Why am I stuttering?